a lot of our goals and a lot of what we set for ourselves in the new year are different things that really revolve around our health. It could be starting a new diet, it could be starting a new fitness plan. We want to achieve something. Maybe your goal is weight related for losing a certain number of pounds in a certain amount of time. And of course, it's important to have those in place. It's important to have that specificity to it as well. Kind of that SMART goal structure of things that are measurable, that are actually achievable for you and realistic, and a time bound constraint is all important as part of what you're doing with your goal setting so that you are able to achieve it and make it realistic as well. And it doesn't just drag on. That's why time bound is important for goal setting. Usually we look at things in 90 to 100 days at a time, or like a 13-week block, and we work on goals in that time frame, and sometimes even shorter. In training for certain strength goals, it might be 6 to 8 weeks really is all we focus on before reevaluating things. All of that's great. One thing that can often get in our way, though, with working towards that is when we do fall out of that intrinsically motivated state. Things aren't quite as autotelic. It can be challenging to stay in flow on the daily basis with working towards those bigger goals. So one thing I also want you to really focus on and encourage you to spend some time thinking about is where your tribe comes into play with the goals that you are working towards. We aren't mountains unto ourselves. And so having a tribe in place, those people that you rely on, that you count on, that can help to hold you accountable are really crucial, I find, with these types of goals in particular, because there aren't that many people that totally just love, the number crunching of diet plans, or it's often very easy to fall off track with that. The same thing with, our exercise routines, unless you find that experience of autotelic with your workout plan. Now, it's a little bit easier said in a peak performance setting. Most of us are highly driven towards these things and okay to work on it on our own. But it is also very nice to have that accountability because we are still going through a pandemic. We're still going through lockdown situations that are mentally and emotionally draining. And having a group that you can turn to, or having other people to hold your hand through it, to have you, stay at a higher level and perform at a higher level is actually really useful. And it's also because those relationships are just important to us that we want to keep them in place and rely on them and, not necessarily depend on them, but know that they are there when we need that extra boost, that extra little push. And it works, both ways. It's not like a single direction. Everybody supports one another. And that's really the key to accountability and making things a little more intrinsically motivated as well. See, one of the reasons that I like this and think it's so important in terms of goal setting is because there are so many more group flow triggers than there are individual flow triggers. So if you're looking at things with having, clear feedback between individuals, you've got group-based goals, there's a lot of different ways that we can trigger flow through the group setting that can make it a lot easier to enjoy the process that you're working towards with your outcome goals if you are doing it in your tribe and not just trying to do it on your own. So that's one thing that's really useful that you can work towards as part of your goal setting for 2021 is putting together your tribe, putting together those people that you can count on or that you can train with, that can hold you accountable with your nutrition plan, whatever goals you really have for yourself this year. And maybe you've got even simpler goals because we are in challenging times. You don't necessarily have to be pushing to be your best ever, but still being, happy and healthy and staying stress-free are all great things to work towards right now. And the more that you keep that tribe together, the more that you keep those people close to you, whether they are physically separated from you, but you still want to have those people that you can turn to as much as possible and check on one another. And that's super important at this time.